Art, creativity, music, noise, flyers, posters, t-shirts, tattoos, 4 bars. Black Flag.
When I saw the Black Flag logo, it did something to me where Ian and I both had the same gut punch reaction, like, whoa, that's heavy, man. We saw the logo before we heard the band. It was the logo that affected me first, and it was quite impactful.
When you have that feeling of danger and this intense commitment to art, it's like, art and action coming together. And very rarely does that happen. When art and action come together, it's like a zeitgeist of a moment that's very powerful. It was a fucking sincere expression that can never happen again. People cannot pay homage to it, but it can't happen again. Not that. And they were such an artistically deep band. There was so much love and art in it, You can feel the work and the effort and the intensity and the caring and the poetry.
Well, our thing was that we were being watered down with whatever mundane, whatever mediocre, whatever Eagles Hotel California. It was blatant for us that, when the Ramones album came out and the Damned album came out, we started hearing about the Sex Pistols. That's what we wanted to do.
Mistakes are made.
Greg Ginn was writing the songs as we were going along, and I was learning the lyrics. We thought that we were going to call ourselves Panic. It was like, oh, freak out. Greg's idea is to call the band Rope.
Really? I never heard that.
It was becoming more apparent that this one person in the band was almost more important than some of the other people in the band.
Black Flag had this amazing luck. They've got this great music, but they've got the guitar player's brother, Raymond Ginn, who is this astonishingly talented artist.
You have this person making the suggestion that this is what we should call our band. And then all of a sudden, somebody else steps up, and that person stepping up would be Raymond Pettibone, presenting the logo and the name.
My name is Raymond Pettibone, and I designed this motherfucking thing.
It was a way to maybe tug away a little bit of power. Maybe now we're becoming a band. Maybe it's not so much just about you, but maybe it's about the rest of us. For me, it's always been about the guys in the band.
Black Flag's logo originated by one Raymond Pettibone, the amazing artist. That became synonymous with unrest, chaos, rebellion, and those pushing against anything you got. It's Raymond Pettibone is why you say Black Flag and say, well, draw their logo. Yeah, that's Ray. It's not Greg Ginn, not me, it's not any of us, it's Ray. I've met a lot of smart people in my life, like geniuses. And Ray's a genius. He's like the artistic genius.
If you have a band, you have to have a name, It was just a suggestion, and, and they went with it.
And he's already got the 4 bars.
Well, for me, when Ray dropped the name, I was like, yes. And the bars, I go, yes, that is great.
And many years ago, I'm so stupid, I asked him, I used to live on his mother's floor, so I used to see Ray all the time. We'd be sitting in his mother's living room, he's drawing away, and I'm waiting for band practice to start or something. And I said, what's the Black Flag logo? What is it? And he said, it's a flag, like waving. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. I was so embarrassed, but that's just typical me.
It is a flag, but it's 4 bars, and it does suggest, waving, in the wind, or like pistons, going, or, fuck, I didn't go to design school or art school or any of that. Anyone, to depict the name Black Flag, would 90% of the motherfuckers would come up with the same scheme, The name Black Flag is memorable, because the band was so great, And it could have been called anything.
It's powerful, it's different, it freaks people out, makes people uncomfortable, And that's just, Raymond doesn't give a fuck, He's a free, untethered person as an artist,
I'm not gonna, ask you to give me too much credit for the name, because it could be anything really,
The thing is that for us to do, the Sex Pistols are great, the Damned are great, okay, but for us to do that would be fake. I mean, I guess it takes courage. To me, it's the only way to roll. But you have to step with yourself, because music, it's about the truth. You're not telling the truth, and it's going to suck. You have to bring the real thing, and you bring the real thing, and it's mind-blowing.
Black Flag is an art band. I think calling them a punk band is kind of belittling them. You know what I mean? Because it has so many connotations. For me, they're an art band. They're like a fucking hard, deep, heavy art band. They didn't play by any rules. They did whatever they wanted. They played slow, they played fast, they did everything, and they evolved and changed and moved the entire time.
Well, Raymond was always a member of the band, whether he was playing in the band, because he was always a creative force within the band, and that is, he was always creating all of the graphic, all of the flyers, all of the artwork.
We used to collect Black Flag flyers on the East Coast. A Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox. These distorted, smudgy, copy of a copy of a copy. It's just horrible looking. But you're like, man.
Before I knew what Black Flag was, I remember, walking around Hollywood, just being a street kid in Hollywood, and walking around and seeing Raymond's flyers and being like, what the fuck is that? That is heavy.
He was coming from a really sick, messed up place.
But Ray is deep. His art speaks it right away. There's a lot of it. You just look at his pictures, and then there's some dark emotional content coming across. He would come down and hang out in the corner and write little stuff on scraps of paper. And then he laid some pictures on me of his art. I really wanted to just associate us with his art because I thought it was so cool, and went out of my way at every turn to include his art, and because I just wanted it to be there. I felt like it was important to what we were doing.
He's a very funny person, but he plays it way in the back. He's like, here's an image. Put that on a flyer. We're like, okay, Ray. And you would go and do it. You're like, what are we doing?
I'll sign it if you like, although motherfucking Greg and Chuck are not going to be happy with this. But then that's a separate interview.
He was creating a body of work.
Black Flag had a real edge. You've got this amazing logo. Every cop in LA remembers that logo when Daryl Gates was the chief of police. And this artwork, he was such a manipulator. He knows what's going to cause a ripple and cause unrest. So he puts those Manson images up there. You can't put the portrait of Charles Manson, especially in the way he's depicting him, like as Jesus Christ nailed to a cross. Do you know how much grief you're gonna get from everyone about that? It's so offensive. And so Ray knew what he was doing. To put Charles Manson on a punk rock flyer in Southern California, it has a lot of contextual tendrils that go out and legitimately upset people, because Helter Skelter's nothing to laugh about. But here's Ray kind of going like,
We're not perfect. Well, let's face it, neither are you.
of course we rode that. And multiple Manson flyers, it became a thing. And we would use some of the Manson terminology on the flyers. And it was a heavy thing that Black Flag was courting. But you'd get in a world of trouble for the flyer, albeit Ray would give you 3 images to choose from. You'd go, let's put that one on the flyer. So it's our choice to put whatever on he didn't make the flyer, he would make the image, we would do the layout. But the artwork, you'd go like, wow, this is, it's not gonna maybe bring people to the show. It's gonna get us beat up if we get caught putting them up. And if you look in your punk rock flyer history, at least in Los Angeles, quickly people were trying to clone Ray's artwork. You're like, oh, there's the Ray clone. There's another one. There's a bunch of them.
I remember like Black Flag at the Starwood, that devil face one, and seeing it all over Hollywood and just looking at it and being like, something's going on here, and it's something intense. And those flyers made me feel like there's something going on that I don't know about. And it's romantic and it's mysterious and it's heavy and I don't know what it is, but I want to know.
There would be piles of artwork, black and white, blue and white, and we'd be able to wow, just zero in on an image. There was a lot of grit, there was a lot of sweat, there was a lot of darkness, there was a lot of twisted ideas.
It's been a long time since I've done this motherfucking thing.
That was Raymond. He was just a freak.
Maybe the single most talented artist I've ever met, where he's like the whole package. He's like the guy doesn't know what day it is because he's doing that drawing. And when you see what he's been working on slavishly for the last 19 hours, you're like, how can a human do that? I mean, he's so amazing.
He was part of the crew.
The power of the imagery and the organic liveliness of the images, it's got life to it, and it's like the sickness of California. It's not the sickness of New York. He's a cultural force.
We just ran with it, and we didn't know what the repercussions were going to be. We didn't know what was going to happen in the future. We didn't know if we used an image that it was going to touch so many people or spark so many imaginations. We were just a group of guys. We were going with it. We were going for it.
But we were feeling it, and you could feel the impact the stuff had on you.
It was revolutionary. People were freaking out, dedicating their lives to this art.
The symbol, it means as much to people as the music ever did. To this day, in 2013, if you walk into any tattoo shop, pretty much, you can find that as standard flash on the wall. In the summer of 1981, I auditioned for the singer slot in Black Flag, got it. So I quit my job, packed a duffel bag, and I split and met up with the band, who are at this point in Detroit, Michigan. We finally get to LA and we go deep into band practice. We were living in a punk rock squat because the cops had shut down SST while we were on tour. So we came back to nowhere to live. And so we called up a friend of Black Flag's. I met them all for the first time. We have nowhere to live. Can we sleep on your floor? Yes. And we were hopping with fleas by the end of the week. It occurred to me that I got to get one of them Black Flag tattoos. Des had one and it looked so cool. And I walk in with a Black Flag flyer. I said, this is what I want, this size, right here. I said, how much? He said, how much money do you have? I said, $20. He went, $20? I was like, and he's about to start tattooing, and I look down, and he has it backwards. He has it lower, upper, lower, upper. Is that, yeah, lower, and I'm like, and I'm so polite, I almost don't want to insult him by saying, sir, that's upside down, because I didn't want to, that's how I was raised. I finally said, well, this is permanent. I said, excuse me, sir. He went, yeah. I said, that's upside down. He went, oh, no problem. And we start again, and there it is. That was like late July, early August, 1981. And I think my arms would look really cool if that was like the only one I ever got.
It's probably one of the more popular tattoos, you know, besides swastikas or whatever, you know.
I read that it's the #1 tattoo of all tattoos of any specific thing.
Hey, just like the USA, we're #1. All right.
I've never had it repaired. A crazy fight I got in with a guy in a parking lot a couple of years later put that scar through the 4th bar as he was clawing at me as I was smashing his face into the rear of his car.
When I would go to a Black Flag show, it was fucking dangerous, and you felt it. If the cops weren't gonna club you over the head, some fucking methed out skinhead was gonna kick you in the face, anything was gonna happen.
Your logo, it became like, you know, the thing on your shield, and you'd go into battle, and quite often the fans would try and beat you up. I've got scars on my body, cigarette burns, cigar burns, you know, knuckles with rings on them. My eyebrows are all split open from just getting clipped in the face while I'm singing. Microphone shoved into my mouth, teeth chipped, multiple concussions, many sets of sutures in my head from ashtrays. And these are people who paid $4.50 to see you. One time that we dared tell Ray what to do. Don't tell Ray what to do. I had an idea for a sticker. We want to make stuff and sell stickers, whatever. So I had, you know, I'm an idiot. So I said, I got an idea for a sticker. And the band said, what? I said, you know, My Rules is the single we just released with the, you know, My Rules. And we said, Ray, you know, draw that, man. And so Ray draws it. It's the most effeminate, limp, it's like, here, and even the middle finger's wilting. Even this is like, it's like salad left out in the afternoon. Like, even the hand is about to faint into your manly arms. And he goes, here. And we're so thick-skulled, we didn't get it. Like, all right. And you put that on a sticker, and then you look at it. Hey, man. We're like, but thanks, Ray. Any chance he got, he would kind of give it back to us. And if you notice, there's a solid year of Black Flag flyers where it's nothing but erect penises. I swear, a good 5 shows. There's like, nude man, another nude man, bunch of nude men. Just, it was relentless. For most of the time I was in Black Flag, Ray's basic posture with us, and I love Ray, but Ray's basic posture with Black Flag was like, and he never gave us a break. There came a breaking point where someone else in the band or crew or someone at SST Records took some of his drawings without asking him and made the Loose Nut album cover from 1985. And you can use whatever you want from Ray, but ask. That's all he asks, because we're not paying him. And one of us just took the artwork, not me, used it for the front cover of the Loose Nut album, tinted Ray's skin. It was a self-portrait with him with 2 girls. You can see the album anywhere. And made a lyric sheet on the inside, cutting out the drawings and taking the heads. I think that was Bill, our drummer. That was his artistic input. Floating the heads, and the whole thing, as a finished pressed record, was given to Ray. Like, done. It's in the stores. Here's your copy. Ray saw this, and that was it. Broken Arrow. And that was the last time you'll see Raymond's artwork on a Black Flag record. So I'm living at his parents' house, sleeping on a floor down the hall from Ray. I come in one day, and back from the printing press, there's 2 piles of 11 by 17 posters. Ray has parodied the Loose Nut album cover, one of Greg, one of Chuck, with like snide remarks, and he's gonna give them away for free. And he's got like 1,000 of each. And I said, Ray, he's mad. I said, can I have a couple of those? Like, yeah, go ahead. So I took like 2 or 3 of each, me being archival boy, and I put them in my little room. Greg comes in to eat some food at his parents' house, sees them, and just goes, that's it, and takes them. Just like, those are mine now. Takes the rest of them away. They never got circulated. And that was the breaking point. And I don't know how much they've ever spoken to one another ever again. We were changing things, and we saw from the church groups who protested us, the plainclothes cops who had come to our shows and camp out outside of SST. We knew we were making a difference. And while I don't think we were important, I knew we were onto something. And we never didn't make us think that we're any big damn deal at all. But we knew we were making ripples in this otherwise placid pool.